My father's girlfriend tried to order me to bed. I'm already an adult.
Sounds like you need to be knocked out.
For context, I, 21 female, have 4 siblings, 26 male, 23 male, 12 female, and 10 male. Our uncle has been our legal guardian since our mom passed and my dad has been out of our lives. My 23-year-old brother and I are home for the summer from college. My oldest brother lives in the city. Since we've come home, my uncle's been away on a work trip, so it's just been me and my siblings around the house. By the way, this comes from Charlie Zeus. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, further context, my dad used to be a problem drinker and was basically estranged for half of my life. Very limited contact, and growing up, it's always been my siblings and I taking care of each other. For the past year or so, my dad has been wanting to reconnect with us, mainly my younger siblings. He's been getting better in his habits. He was clean for 3 years and managed to keep his act together. Because of this, we've allowed a couple of visits from time to time. 4 months ago, he started seeing someone new, quite a bit younger than him, in her 30s, and she seems to have this strange obsession with playing mom.
Oh, really?
Which is like a weird dynamic because she's in her 30s and OP's like 24. She visits way more frequently than he does and seems to be under the impression that she's our new stepmom. I think it's kind of weird, but we just let her do her thing since she's not harming anyone. She does have this patronizing way of addressing us. It's better with my oldest brothers, but with me, it's getting kind of ridiculous. Again, I kind of just ignore it and go about my own business. A few weeks before my brother and I came home, she was helping my uncle pick up our younger siblings from school and driving them home. Because of that, she was given a key to the house.
Okay.
Since then, she's around all the time and just playing parent to my younger siblings, but not really doing much because my older brothers and I take care of the responsibilities. In short, the situation started when we had her and my dad over for dinner. My brothers cooked a great meal, and it was all going good until my dad ended up making a very insensitive and inappropriate joke during dinner, and she cooperated that joke by making a really ugly insinuation about our late mother.
Okay, you can't just say
Yikes.
it was an ugly joke.
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah.
Specify.
I'm gonna need to know what was said.
Not gonna get into that. Why not?
OP! Then don't share it.
We saw them out, and that was that. We put the kids to bed and kind of talked about what happened and informed our uncle about the situation. We were all unsure of what to do. The next afternoon, both my brothers were busy with work, and I picked up the kids from school and got home to my dad's girlfriend in our kitchen. This was the first time she'd let herself in when nobody was home,
Ooh.
and it caught me kind of off guard. She had basically come to apologize on my dad's behalf. She said that he felt so ashamed he couldn't bear coming here. I sent the kids to their rooms and explained the situation to her. I also communicated to her that I found her comment to be extremely inappropriate and in poor taste. She started laughing it off, but I was clear with her that we wouldn't tolerate anything like that again. And then she said something like, "Oh, it's so cute that you're trying to be their mom / their adult." I kind of just blinked at her. The remainder of that conversation, she had the same attitude, just not taking me seriously and treating me patronizingly. Naturally, I got fed up and got started on dinner. I don't know where she went for the next while. I think she went into the kids' room to help them with homework. But she stuck around for the rest of the night. Out of the kindness of my heart, I cooked extra food for her, even though she didn't ask for permission to stay.
Ooh.
And lo and behold, she stayed for dinner. Later on in the night, she was fawning over the kids again, and around 10, in her stepmom manner, she was like, "Okay, my dears, it's time for bed." My younger siblings were in the living room watching TV. They're usually pretty disciplined at going to bed themselves, so that kind of, adds to that. At this, they looked over to me, gave me the look like, "What is this lady doing?" And I just shrugged, and they went off to their rooms because it was close to their usual bedtime anyway. Which, yeah, I think that's also like maybe their bedtime's 10:30, and she's like, "Okay, you're going to bed at 10 now," which weird.
Okay.
Now wait for this. I'm in the kitchen cleaning up. Dad's girlfriend is on her phone at the island. She looks at me and says, "You too, hon?" No, Opie's 24.
Imagine. You're about to be 24. Imagine someone telling you that.
I'd be
okay,
like,
Sophia, time to go to
dude,
bed.
my parents would do that. My parents still do that. They're like, okay, off to bed. I'm like, I'm an adult. It crosses my mind that she could have been joking, but I devise after a moment that this was not a joke and she was in fact sending me to bed. So I naturally say, what? She says, it's getting late, time for bed, and kind of tuts at me.
What's a tut?
Like,
it's
time
teething.
for bed. You know?
Tut?
Yeah, it's like a noise. To remind you guys, I am, OP's 21 years old. Sorry, not 24. I think one of the brothers. I go to college and am working almost full time in the summer. I've been taking care of my family since I was 12. This woman has been dating my estranged father for barely half a year. So I gave her the benefit of the doubt that she clearly has some mental issues and is a little crazy. I tell her,
But you know what that means, though.
What? Oh.
We know why the dad has her around.
Yeah. I tell her I think it's time that she went home. She is insistent that I go on to bed, still acting like she's my mom. This gets me a little ticked off. I explained to her that I feel disrespected being talked to like that, and that I'm an adult. And as an extension to our previous conversation, I need her to take me seriously because I don't joke around about my family or my siblings, and she's on thin ice. She continues to laugh me off and goes on in this super patronizing tone. Again, she uses the phrase, it's so cute when teenagers try to act like adults. Throws in some stuff about me having a hissy fit and being rebellious. At this point, I'm just so fed up by everything, I simply say, you have 5 minutes to get your things and leave this house.
Oh.
OP is not taking no for an answer.
There we go. She ain't taking none of that crap.
She's not taking your nonsense.
Here's a great question.
What?
Where's the dad?
Yeah, I don't know. He seems kind of like not really involved. Well, it seems like he wasn't involved. Yeah, we know that he wasn't involved kind of throughout their life, and it doesn't seem like he's an active participant now. In response, she scoffs and gets up and walks off to the bathroom. And on the way, I heard her say something along the lines of, no wonder Anatole, Dad, says you're a frigid little priss. When she's in the bathroom, I go over to her handbag and her keys on the couch. She has a gigantic key ring and a ton of keys, so knowing she won't notice, I removed our house key from the ring.
Oopsie.
Gotta take things into your own hands. Then I go back to my room. I hear her leaving maybe 20 minutes later. The next day, I get a bunch of texts from her panicking about the key. I told her I took it. She said some stuff, called me a brat, saying she was going to tell my uncle and brothers, and I was being childish. I told her I was at work, and if she wanted to talk, she could call me at 4. Otherwise, she could go bother my brothers about it. But they were at work too, so good luck with that. She went off again with the stop pretending to be an adult thing and said that my younger siblings were like her kids and she needed to take care of them and this was unsafe. The last text I sent her was, this is the last I'll say this. You've been disrespectful of me and my brothers since we met and dismissed my attempts to communicate with you. I'm no longer investing energy into enduring your behavior. I'm going to be honest, there is very little chance that you're going to get that key back. This is not helping those chances. Like I said, 4 p.m., you can call. Nice, OP.
Dang, that's
Mic
like
drop.
check-in times for hotels, too.
Yeah, 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Classic. Yeah, I was just like 3 p.m. and then 11 p.m. check-in or something.
Yeah.
She yapped some more, then blew up my brother's phones and texted my uncle as well. I'm writing this as this is occurring. I told my brothers a bit about what happened when she came over, but they don't know the full story. My uncle's also in the dark about this, but I'll tell them what happened if I need to.
You better tell them quickly before someone gets the story and...
Nah, she's gonna change everything up. She's gonna say, OP was so rude. I was just trying to help.
She yelled at me and called me a
Just like that. Look, I don't doubt that in her heart she does truly care for my younger siblings. I don't think she's a bad person or anything. Plus, my uncle trusted her enough to give her entry into his house. Gotta have a conversation with the uncle.
Yeah.
You gotta be like, Uncle, why'd you do that? Why didn't you talk to us about that?
Yeah. Also, she's a little crazy, man.
She's a little crazy. She just really pissed me off. Her whole stepmom act is also really facetious to me. I'd have no problem letting her help out around the house if she was respectful and communicated that's what she wanted. Anyways, am I the a-hole? And there is a gentle update. Interesting. That's what it says.
Not aggressive, guys.
A gentle
Don't worry.
update, guys, is on the way. But what say you, Riley?
People, I usually see a lot of younger people or people that just have their family and not a lot of friends around. So whenever you're like 21, you're now like understanding dynamics as an adult. So it's hard to understand that you stand up for yourself and the mom's kind of like, oh, and no one else really knows what's happening to understand if you're the a-hole or not. So it's good to like, bounce this off of Reddit. So I see where she's coming from on that aspect. You're standing up for your brothers because one, like you said, she's only been around for 6 months.
Yeah.
Who knows what's under those layers? Because after 3 months, you actually kind of see a little glimpse of who a person actually is.
I mean, you know that she's not nice.
So you're not the a-hole. I would keep standing up for your brothers. Do you have any next steps about what you would do?
I would talk to the uncle. I would talk to the dad.
Okay.
I would say I feel very disrespected. I feel like she's inserting herself in a way that I don't feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
And just like really point out that she's, stepping across lines here. And that's not okay.
It really isn't.
But you know what is okay? A gentle update.
First, an okay storytime history.
Yeah. I had put this in the comments, but for those who didn't see, after Dad's girlfriend's freak out, my uncle called me and said, "What's this she says about you stole her keys and punted her out?"
Oh, boy.
And he was already laughing as he said this because he knows and trusts me and he knows I'm a level-headed person. And I told him, yeah, she tried to put me to bed and called me a priss. And that cracked him up. By the way, you can crack yourself up by listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. But do you have any final thoughts?
The biggest question to ask everyone is, what age do you not have a bedtime anymore? Mine was when I went to college, so like 18.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
Anyway, let's finish the story off. When I told my brothers too, they were like, wow, I'm surprised you didn't knock her out. They both knew she could be a little weird, but never had she been like that. I think it was because it was the first time she and I were alone. She is not coming back to the house, not picking up the kids again, only sees the kids when they hang out with Dad and oldest brother is around. My uncle has full custody of kids. They are safe. There is more nutty stuff going on with her, though. We'll have another update prepared soon. It's going to be very interesting. And that is the end of that.
I hope the dad finds someone around his age and gets rid of this person.
Yeah.
Ladder
She
first.
Yeah. First gets rid of and then find someone his age.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, a little bit more elderly, mother figurely. Not like,
and then she'll come into OP's room and she'll be like, "You gotta go to sleep now." And OP's like, "You're not my
like, don't tell me to go to bed if you've
Yeah.
never baked me cookies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I can tell everyone in the house to go to bed because it made them all cookies.
Yeah, that is true.
Stepmom probably hasn't done that.
My stepdaughter started pulling away from my husband. I refused to back him up.
Pull her back.
I, mid-30s, have been married to my husband, 40s, for about 4 years now. His daughter, Danny, 15, lives with us most of the time. I came into her life when she was about 9, and we've always had a good relationship. She's a great kid, smart, funny, a little dramatic sometimes, but generally kind and emotionally aware of her age. By the way, this comes from DizzyCow85, and if you want to spit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. He was her safe person through a messy divorce and always made sure she knew she was loved. Their bond has always been more than best buds than the typical strict parent thing. Recently, Danny got in trouble at school over some texts about another girl in her group chat with her friends. Mouse. Dumb teenage stuff. But a few of the things Danny said about this particular girl were pretty mean. Not slurs or threats or anything awful like that. A couple of personal jabs since she didn't particularly like her. Ugh. How it got out? One of the girls in the group chat had a falling out with the others and screenshotted everything. She sent the screenshots to the girl they'd been talking about who brought them to a teacher. The school ended up calling a meeting with parents, including my husband. The school took it seriously, but handled it well, in my opinion. Danny owned up to what she said and apologized, like a real apology and not a forced one. The girl actually accepted it, which I think says a lot. They are so mature in this.
Yeah.
That's crazy. At home, though, things took a turn. My husband reacted very differently than I expected. He didn't yell or lose his temper. Instead, he shut down emotionally. He took her phone outside of school use, grounded her for 2 weeks, and gave her extra chores with the big lecture about how being that girl, the mean one, sticks with you, how people remember what you do, how damage can't be undone. But what stood out wasn't the consequences, it was how he did it. It was like a switch flipped. He became cold and formal. Every interaction with her was short, distant, and transactional. No softness, no patience, no sense of connection. It was almost like he couldn't bring himself to look at her the same way. And I'm reading Sophia's mind right now.
Yep.
You want me to say it for you?
Say it. We'll see.
It is because something like this happened to him in high school,
Yeah.
and he doesn't want his daughter to be like that.
Yeah. Definitely is a guy who has experienced bullying and is really disappointed in his daughter.
And now, 2 weeks later, that's exactly how she treats him. Polite, obedient, but emotionally closed off. She answers questions, follows rules, says thanks, and okay, nothing else. The affection's gone. Her usual dynamic is gone. Oh, that's so sad.
Aww.
With me, she's still her usual self. She talks, she jokes, she decompresses, runs up to give her a hug before I leave in the morning, and my husband has noticed. He asked me if I talk to her, help smooth things over, explain where he's coming from. I told him I think she already gets where he was coming from, but I also think she felt hurt a bit, and she's allowed to feel that way. I said that you can't expect a kid to act like nothing happened when their entire sense of safety in a relationship gets rattled like that. That kind of shift in tone from being your safe person to being so harsh and cold does something to a kid who's not used to it. He didn't take it well. He said I was minimizing what she did and that if anyone in the house deserved hurt feelings, it wasn't Danny. I pushed back and said I wasn't going to push her to pretend she's not feeling what she feels just to make him more comfortable. That's when things escalated. Dude, there's something in the, like, he is stepping on some stone
Yeah.
and he needs to clear his shoe out.
The thing is, it's not like him giving her consequences for her actions is not the problem. It's that he was so obviously deeply affected by it as if she had bullied him. And I feel like you have to maintain some semblance of, distance from the situation to act give consequences in an effective way. It's like he was so involved emotionally in it that, he can't parent in an effective way, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. He said I was choosing her over him. I said I wasn't choosing anyone. I just wasn't willing to pretend this didn't change things. He said he was still trying to keep her from turning into the kind of person who destroys other people's self-worth and walks away.
Buddy, she's not your bully.
He told me if I'm going to be on the same page with him as a parent, then maybe I need some space to figure out where I stood. So I left. I'm at my sister's place right now, and she, of course, sides with him. Says it's good he's not trying to be the cool dad, that it's better to overreact now than regret not doing enough later. I don't entirely disagree. I just think there's a way to teach a kid something serious without making them feel like they're suddenly a stranger to you. So here I am. I didn't back him up when he asked me to. I told him the truth instead. I didn't think that made me the bad guy, but now I'm not so sure. I see where both sides are coming from.
I mean, he doesn't want, bullying is a very serious thing. Kids don't know where to draw the line. They get kind of pushed forward by their friends and stuff. He's gone a little bit too far because he's taken all the emotions.
Yeah. I think the consequences physically is good, but on the emotional aspect, to a messy divorce dude, who knows what this kid feels like with this divorce?
Yeah.
They probably feel like, oh, this divorce was my fault. But he did everything in his power to be like,
Mhm.
it's not your fault. This is what
Yeah.
happens.
But I think the solution here is I think the parents need to like figure out some sort of compromise because this is silly. I mean, she should be able to say, "Oh, this is why your daughter is upset," without him being like, oh, "You're not on my side," blah blah. Blah. And
Yeah.
he needs to be able to go to his daughter and say, like, "Hey, I'm real." Like this
Have an
would
adult
all be
conversation.
solved if he just went to his daughter and say, "Hey, I understand that you might have felt that I was being pretty harsh. I had so and so experience. Open up." Connect with your daughter. Say why you reacted so strongly and say, like, I really just don't want you to turn out in that way. And I don't think that you are that person, but I don't want you to, the more that you do these actions, the more that you can fall down, go down.
Yeah. Comments. Sounds like dad got bullied as a kid and he has to have a vulnerable talk with his daughter about the feelings her actions brought up in him. Then apologize that trauma impacted how he dealt with this. This is my first thought. My dad got triggered by personal drama and suddenly his own kid became the enemy. I talk and try to figure out what happened to him at that age and get him to tell that story to his daughter. Hopefully then she'll realize where his behavior was coming from and get him to actually tell her that he loves her no matter what and that he will always love her and that his behavior was due to his own personal trauma and had only peripherally to do with her. She's at the perfect age to realize parents are humans too. They make mistakes, have history that goes back further than they do, etc. It could actually drive this lesson home really well if done the right way. We got an update. I don't think he's going to be the bad guy still. I feel like he can still bring it back around. He just doesn't know how to handle his emotions. And I feel like as men, like in your head, you have to make a place for your family emotionally. And if you don't fix that, the turmoil will show like this.
Yeah. I think he just needs to talk to his daughter. I already said what that commenter said, but yeah, you just have to have that very honest and vulnerable conversation.
Yeah. Update. It's been a bit since I last posted, and a couple of things have changed, so I figured I'd give an update. I've seen a lot of perspectives that helped me think through how everyone, my husband and Danny, even myself, may have gotten tangled up in our own emotions while trying to do what we thought was right. So thank you. After I cooled off and came back home, I told my husband we needed to talk. Not just about Danny, but about how he reacted the way he did. I think deep down I already knew it wasn't about her behavior at school. He finally opened up and admitted the whole thing hit a raw nerve for him.
Oh, wow. We're all surprised and shocked.
When he was Danny's age, he was on the receiving end of some pretty cruel bullying, stuff that stuck with him for years. He said seeing Danny even dabble in that kind of behavior scared him. It wasn't about control. It was about fear. Fear that she'd become someone who could inflict the kind of pain he still carries. That fear made him pull back from her instead of leaning in, and it came out in this cold, distant way that hurt them both. I encouraged him to talk to Danny about it, not to justify what happened, but to explain and take accountability. And he did.
Yay.
It wasn't some big emotional movie moment, but it was honest. He told her about what he went through, how ashamed he felt that he let this fear come between them, and that he told her behavior reminded him of people who had hurt him. But that didn't mean she was like them.
This is exactly what I said to say. Good job.
They took your advice. They watched the show.
Thank goodness.
They actually updated this like 2 minutes ago.
2 minutes and they're live. They're watching it live. They're like, oh, that's a good idea. Okay, we just had the conversation. It lasted 30 seconds.
She listened to the whole thing, really listened, and she surprised both of us. She didn't get teary or run to his arms or anything, but she did say that she got it, that she'd actually been thinking a lot about why what she said mattered, and that the only reason she could reflect on it properly was because she didn't shut down emotionally afterwards. She said she felt like she lost him for a while, and now that she knows why, she's been trying to meet him halfway. But she's still cautious. She's being respectful, warmish, but not back to her old dynamic. Not yet. Maybe not ever in the same way. But it's still something. Funny enough, the girl Danny said those things about, they've been hanging out.
Heck
Not
yeah.
besties, but weirdly, this mess kind of forced a level of honesty between them that ended up creating mutual understanding. Okay, See, it's crazy how an apology goes so far
Dude,
between two parties.
That's the thing. It's honesty. It's
Yeah.
when you have an honest conversation with someone, the bond is created. Bond is created. And I think a
Okay.
lot of parents are afraid to seem vulnerable in front of their children because you
Mhm.
want to kind of keep that position of power.
Yeah.
But being vulnerable with your kids is important. They need to know that, you're human too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. The girl told Danny she was really hurt at first because she thought Danny meant for her to see those messages. But once they had a real conversation, she realized that wasn't the case. She admitted she was more mad at the girl who leaked the text, her friend who sent the screenshots around after a falling out. She told Danny she now gets that the stuff said in the chat wasn't meant to be public or malicious, just venting between teens. She said worse things herself in the private about people she was frustrated with. It didn't excuse it, but it helped her put it in perspective, and she let it go. As for therapy, I brought it up. I told my husband that maybe this could be a good opportunity for all of us to work on our dynamics, maybe family therapy, or even just individual support to unpack some of the emotional baggage that clearly still weighs heavy. He's open to family therapy, but absolutely shut down the idea of individual counseling for himself. Danny's kind of on the fence. She says she doesn't hate the idea, but she doesn't feel like she needs it either. Guys, if you want free therapy at your disposal 24/7 for 63 days straight, all you got to go to is your favorite freaking podcast platform. Search up OK Storytime on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Boom, free therapy for stories just like this. All you got to type in is like OK Storytime, whatever situation you're going through, and we probably have a story about it.
Probably do. But I think that this parent was
Big moves.
big moves. Yeah, I saw some people saying like, "Oh, he was blah blah blah." I think
Nah.
that it's important to remember that people are human and
Mhm.
fallible and make mistakes.
Yeah.
Especially parents. Parenting is not something that you really are taught how to do. You kind of, you have your parents, you have role models and stuff. But each child is different, and there are different challenges that come with it. And it's learning, and as long as you're open to learning and admitting your mistakes, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, that's really all you can ask for. Back to the story. Things aren't magically fixed, but we are in a more honest place now. Danny's been handling this whole situation with more maturity than I expected. Let's go, Danny. My husband and I are still figuring out what parenting together means when we come at things from different emotional angles. I stand by what I said in the original post. Kids don't just bounce back from emotional shifts, and pretend like nothing happened doesn't help anyone. But I'm glad we didn't just leave things frozen there. Thanks to everyone who took the time to give their advice. That's it. But wow, that was great.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Love when there's solutions and there's conversations.
Yeah. Me too.
That's what we want.
Me
That's what we
too.
want.
Oh man.
My husband told me he only settled for me because he's afraid to be alone.
I'm scared of the dark.
I was single mom of 2 when I met my husband. My husband is 9 years older than me. I was 33 when we got married. I'm 41 now. My kids are grown and out of the house now too. My husband got wasted and revealed terrible things that I wished I just didn't know.
Ugh.
By the way, this comes from Unattractive Wife, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, he married me because he didn't want to pass away alone.
Oh my gosh.
He only had 2 relationships, 3 total if you include me. He's not attracted to women that look like me. He said I'm overweight, and he was very underwhelmed by my appearance. But he learned to love me on the inside because even though I'm ugly on the outside, I'm so beautiful on the inside. And that's what makes me different from the other girls. And the way he said that to me, he made it sound so genuine, like he was saying something so sweet and romantic to me. But it's like, dude, you didn't realize you just called your wife ugly?
And you settled for
He's
me?
like, I settled for you because you're so ugly, but you're so beautiful on the inside. Like, wow, what? I cried so much that night. He did apologize since then, but I can't get out of my head that my husband thinks he's too good for me. He also said in no world he thought he would ever marry a single mom and basically be a cuck and be a dad to someone else's kids.
Yo, bro, that...
Stop talking. Stop. But he said he didn't want to pass away alone, and I was his only option, so he took on my baggage. I think my husband thinks he deserves better because he's not overweight and he's more financially stable than most guys. I feel like he thinks he deserves a hot 22-year-old girl with no kids. I don't know, honestly. But it does hurt me that he thinks I'm ugly, and he just married me because he doesn't want to pass away alone. I've had people tell me to get over it, and everyone settles, but I have a hard time believing that every married couple settles.
Dude,
I would
okay.
hope not.
One, the life expectancy of someone is like 78 nowadays.
Yeah, man, you had time.
But like, getting married to someone as fast as possible so you don't die alone. I don't understand the fear of getting alone, I guess.
Yeah. Relevant comments. Commenter 1 says, holy heck. Be prepared for the, I was wasted. I didn't mean it. And honestly, walk. There is no coming back from this that doesn't include excuses and justifications. You've got one shot at this life. Don't spend it like this. OP says he did apologize the next day about everything. And he said that he shouldn't have said it like that. How are you gonna have said that in a good way? In what way would that have... No, he didn't really take back anything that he said. It was more so insinuating that he just shouldn't have said it so bluntly. He says he fell in love with me for my personality and the person I am on the inside. He says it's basically like the show Love is Blind. Stop talking. You're not even drunk anymore. He doesn't care anymore that I'm ugly, and he grew to fall in love with me.
He just pretends he's blind now.
He's like, no. It's just like the show Love is Blind. I just never look at you. Whenever I'm talking to you, I close my eyes. Commenter 2, wow. I don't think I could get past that. Was he a good stepdad? OP says he was a better dad than the real dad. My kids call their stepdad their dad, and they call their bio dad by his real name. Downvoted commenter says, go to the gym, make him pay for liposuction. Make him pay for tummy tucks. I hate this. He might pass away before you, so he needs to pay for, bless you.
Thank you.
He needs to pay for beauty spa treatments for you so you can snag another old geyser that will punt off and leave you a condo in Florida. Does he get wasted a lot? Booziacs have a shorter lifespan. You need a life insurance policy. That person's insane. OP says, I really don't care to get plastic surgery and to look a certain way. I know I'm not conventionally attractive to the general population, but I don't feel like I was created just for the male gaze. I'm old. I don't care how I look anymore. I did care way too much how I looked when I was in my 20s, and it was so toxic that it destroyed me. And I refuse to go back to that. I'm so content with just chilling and not worrying about how I look now. I'm 41. I'm relaxing. And there is an update.
Divorce or not?
Honestly, yeah. I feel like if you're at the point where he's saying, like, you're ugly, and he literally said it multiple times when he was under the influence and not under the influence, that is wild. That is not a person. You don't deserve to be with the person who actively thinks you are ugly and is willing to tell you to your face that you're ugly. Like, don't settle. You know what? Don't settle for him. You can do better than this guy.
Yep. And it looks like everyone is divorcing right now.
Yeah, man. Makes sense. Update. I had a lot of feedback from my first post and everyone asked for an update. There is an update. I spoke with my husband about this and he wants to make our marriage work. Yeah, because he's scared of dying alone.
I might tomorrow, so we have to make this work.
We can't leave. He said he doesn't care about how I look and should be happy he's with me for me and not the way I look. It's just hard for me to get past. It's hard for me to carry on in this house with him knowing my husband thinks I'm ugly. And will not hesitate to remind you of that fact. He just said it again. Like, you're going to have to, now that he's brought it out in the open, he's going to say it over and over.
Yeah, let's just get through this together now. Okay?
It is okay to want to feel like your partner is attracted to you.
Agreed.
The only reason I hesitate leaving him because I'm 41 and barely worked since I got married. I haven't worked since I was a single mom. I job hopped a lot from random low entry positions. He made me feel like I'll get nowhere in life since it's too late to start a career at my age. He laughed and asked me, what will I even do? He does have a point there. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I want to do. I hated every job I worked, and I worked a lot of different kinds of entry-level jobs, from actual labor, waitressing, customer service, receptionist. By the way, you can work on listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search a Poke Storytime. There is a little bit left to this, but real quick, there is no age limit for 95% of jobs. You know, maybe if you want to go out for the Olympics, you probably can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of jobs can be. There's a movie about with what's his face, Robert De Niro, where he plays a 80-year-old the intern. Yeah, he plays an 80-year-old intern.
I love that movie.
A lot of actors started acting in their 40s or 50s or even later. So there is no too late to start a new career. There is no age requirement for doing something new, unless it's the Olympics. You might be out of that
I
one.
was thinking firefighter, but you could be a firefighter in some way. But if you're like an
a lot.
80-year-old man trying to drag people out of a burning
Probably
house,
not. Obviously, there are physical requirements for things, but
other than that, you're good.
you're good.
You can do anything.
Yeah. I know I'm going to get hate for saying this, but I think I might be unhappier going back to the workforce, spending majority of my days at work, scheduling appointments and speaking to people on the phone. Barely get paid a living wage too. I think I'm going to choose to stay for money. Girl. Sure, if I divorce him, I'll get some fat money, but it's not long term, even with alimony. That's not forever. Alimony just isn't the same as it was back in the day. Commoner 1 says, honestly, and I'll probably get downvoted for this, but it sounds like you're both getting something out of this marriage. He gets someone to live with, and you don't have to work, and you have someone who provides for you and your kids. If you're both content, then attraction and love don't really matter. I know people on Reddit like to go scorched earth if people aren't in love, like it's a Disney film. But if you want to stay, then do it. But I do have a question. Is your husband conventionally attractive? And as callous as this might sound, are you both in each other's league? Because if you are, then I could see why what he said in your first post would have been incredibly shocking. And he is a hypocrite. But if you aren't, did you have no idea that he didn't find you attractive before you got married? Or did he lie to you? Because if he lied, then that's where the problem is. OP says, 100% agree with you. I don't think it's a divorce-worthy thing simply because he felt like he settled for me. I know, regardless, people will think he is too good for me, and they will think he settled for me just because I was a single mom anyways. He might have settled for me. I don't really bring much to the table. I was the ugly, broke, single mom when we met, and he was the wealthy older man. So from other people's eyes, too, they would think he was the one that settled. I guess it shouldn't matter if he felt like he did settle for me. He still loves me for me and not the way I look. I can't force someone to be attracted to me. I do know I'm not attractive. I have eyes and I have seen myself in the mirror. It just hurts hearing it because it was the first time he said what everyone was thinking. And no, we're both ugly, but I still find him attractive. But I'm trying to say that he's not conventionally attractive. Like other women wouldn't be turned on by him physically. He kind of looks like Brian Baumgartner from The Office. He was more attractive when we met, though.
Oh, that's Kevin.
Mm-hmm. And then comment 2 says, you can gain skills at 41. You're still young. Try going back to school if you can. If you don't like it, then stop, but you may love it and gain some confidence. OP says, I definitely don't want to go back to school yet. I was never good at school, and it was never something I enjoyed doing. I was very depressed in school. I still get nightmares about being in a classroom. I will say it's very different as an adult to take classes.
Taking things you like.
Yeah, like you're it's super different. So if you're judging, how you're going to experience class as an adult with like how you experienced it when you were a kid, it's super different. I mean, just like in my improv classes, it's a totally different vibe when you're all adults.
I will say OP's in a tough situation because I don't think she works. She said every single job she's ever had, she hated.
Yeah.
And she hates doing. I just don't think she can divorce and then provide for herself. I think that's the tough one she needs to figure out too. It's what she actually likes.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to like do something uncomfortable and get into that,
I don't think she wants to. OP also responds to another comment saying, I've explored around. I have dabbled in all sorts of different jobs. I'm going to be honest, I don't like working. The only joy I felt in life is being around my family and children and being at home watching movies and TV shows. I don't even like cooking. So I wouldn't say I love the housewife crap. LOL, I'm a very lazy person.
Ooh.
Okay. That
Don't like
changes
that
some
one.
things.
I don't think that you have to want to do jobs. I think there are a lot, like I have a lot of friends who like don't want to have a career, and that's okay because they find joy in different things, and that's totally fine. I think you can derive joy from other things that aren't career based. I think that's just like something that our societies tell us that we have to do. But I do think that we got to find something that we like. Something that, you know, we can do for ourselves that exists outside of content and other people.
Yeah.
You know, like I think it's totally a fair and valid thing to be like, I, you know, love my family and they kind of bring me purpose, and that's very valid. But I think that, you know, you should find something that you like doing because,
Yeah.
you know, you like
Yeah.
it rather than because someone else likes it.
It's just, I feel like she
Yeah.
has to stay. Or she will not allow herself to have any other
I think
options.
she
with
has
this
to
mindset.
stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has the mindset that I hate working.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about the husband because, like, in a way,
Yeah.
he may. I mean, what he said was horrible, but if someone's not really
No,
out there like pursuing something, that might look unattractive too.
Patria B says, oh no, sorry. Schmed says she's using him just like he's using her. It's weird.
It is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like they're both like getting something out of this relationship. In which case, sure, yeah.
Yep.